Time's up, Admiral.
Here it comes.
All kids out of the pool for Adult Swim. All kids out.
Lego Lord of the Rings Balrog raised eyebrows for what some fans say is an unfortunate pose. I see it. I see it. Oh, I see it. It's taking a piss on Gandalf.
You shall not!
And he says to her, listen, you got a fine white girl ass. So I don't like the look of this D. Listen, I don't need gay or straight boner pills. My boner works just fine.
Before you go, one question.
Yes?
Where in the galaxy is Sanusi?
Show us your tits and I'll tell you.
Yeah, I want to see movies! I think I've died and gone straight to honker heaven. Boobs are amazing.
Do not be afraid. Do not be alarmed. This is not a Crimson Desert stream. I'm on camera. We're doing an actual show today that isn't gaming. Listen, nothing's wrong. Nothing happened. Okay? Let's just everything's fine. Everything's fine. Howdy all. Welcome to the Daily Dive, the Double Ds, where you, the chat, the gatekeepers, you're here to make me earn myself. Yeah, so you're making me to earn what I do. We have to live stream. We didn't do anything this weekend except for driving because yesterday I had to basically be a chauffeur. But it's all good. We're here. We're starting the week off because we do got things to talk about. So I see you guys are rolling in. And yes, it's good to be seen, Arturo. Thank you. It's good to be seen. Much to the rumors, I did not loot goblin myself into a coma or anything like that. Granted, do I need more sleep? Yes. Crimson Desert has not been good for my wake sleep cycle. But it's not going to be good tonight because tomorrow morning, I got to get up early tomorrow morning because the fucking complex that I live in, they're doing another preventive maintenance. They just did one last month. And they're doing it, in order to make sure that things keep working right. This place is falling the fuck apart. Your lipstick on a pig bullshit is not worth the amount of rent I pay. So I got to get up early because they could be here anywhere between 8:30 and 2 p.m. So we might not have a show tomorrow because I have to sit around waiting for people to show up, which is bullshit. Ruins my fucking day. Anyway, but I'm going to make today worth it. I'm going to make the day worth it because we got stuff to talk about. We got things to do. We have a chat, maybe watch us reviews, courtesy of Ariel. And because of Ariel's donations last week, we officially did cross $300 on the additional Day of Doom torture tier, which means I have to talk to the baby and reassure it and tell it that it's good and it's all right and everything's going to be great. So now we're on our way to, at some point, me giving the public speech. If we can cross 400 in the next couple of weeks, because this one's going to go for about another 2-3 weeks. I will then have to stop at some point and give the speech about how great Baby Yoda Grogu is during the Day of Doom. And the Day of Doom is now less than a month away, but we'll talk about the Day of Doom later because we have a story that connects to the Day of Doom. So, yeah. And in general, here's how you play the game. If you are new here, if you're old, this show is about you. This show is about you choosing the entertainment when I'm done yammering away in order to keep the show going. You can give $15 to ask a direct question, talk about a topic. We'll have fun with that one. $15 also to throw an article my way you want me to react to. $25 gets you reaction to a video of your choosing, but there are limitations. Nothing from the news, nothing with music in it, because those types of people are dicks. At the same time, nothing that's a parody, because those people are also dicks. They don't like it when you react to their stuff, even though it's all fair use and it's within my realm. But other things are fine. It's fine. So I reserve the right to reject it and give you another chance. And then, of course, $35 chat, maybe watch us reviews, where I will review an episode of television or movie on this stream, live, no takesy backsies, preparation, but I can't edit myself. I have to go with whatever I say. And this week, today, we will be talking episode 1, season 1, episode 1 of Neil Gaiman's Good Omens. Good Omens, starring Michael Sheen, and I just forgot his name. The 10th the 9th Doctor. Sorry, the 9th Doctor. No, 10th Doctor. The 10th Doctor. David Tennant. There it is, David Tennant. And David Tennant. So we'll be talking that later on. But feel free to throw money my way. I like money. Money makes my lights stay on and pays the rent. Anyway, what are we going to get into first here? We're going to get into this. So it's been a few days since I did a real stream outside of Drive-In, where we talked Star Trek, and that's just having fun. God forbid I have fun. Stuff happened last week. Remember, on Thursday to Friday, I went into a coma because of essentially a 10-hour Crimson Desert stream. So I slept through a lot of shit on Friday. And what happened on Friday, that's something I can be somewhat at least pay attention to, is the fact that our friend Dermy Wormy, we call him Dermy covers drama. It's part of what he does on his channel. He covers drama, reports on drama, sometimes gets involved in the drama because he tweets like a 14-year-old girl and likes to shitpost and troll people. And he does it for the shits and the lulz. He does it for shits and giggles and lulz. So if you're doing it for the lulz, you're not doing it because you're not doing it because you want to create drama. You're just poking the bear. Well, Dermy takes issue with grifters, specifically grifters who push fake news narratives on both sides of the equation, whether you're on the left or the right. Dermy takes issue with that stuff because he is annoyed when the actual things going on get lost and people pushing narratives just to get clicks and traction. And during a bunch of stuff that went on concerning Quarter Pounder and others, Dermy got involved in what essentially is an old school flame war with the redheaded libertarian. Now, I normally don't cover drama, but because Dermy is my friend and Dermy got under attack and Dermy happily caused a shitstorm, which he's proud of, and got multiple sections of spheres involved in it. Good job, kiddo. Good job. I feel the need to talk about it just because I also talk about grifters who use their ideology and in many cases their religion to hide behind their takes. They use it as a shield when they push a quarter. So long story short, Dermy trolled the redheaded libertarian. And full disclosure, I know who she is. She has great tits. She's a MILF. But she's a fucking moron. She's a fucking idiot who, as the years have rolled on, has lost her traction and spends the time she has on the internet to push her persona as a trad wife who's hot but doesn't take no shit. Anyway, so he trolled her hard. And then she went after him for his background. Dermy, like every other pop culture YouTuber, has a carefully maintained background to represent what they're into. Me, I am a minimalist right now because of the limitations of my room and what I own. This studio that I work out of, this room that I'm in, it is not very large. I do not have a lot of merch left in my life to show off. So I simply show off my books, my games, my movies, little things here, my machinery that I use, and this and that. And we try to make use of the background here in order to facilitate whatever stream we're on. I'm minimalist, but I make it work. Jed says I need a new one, but he knows damn well that I can't do anything till we change things because this room is limited. This room used to look completely different until I reorganized it for streaming about 5 years ago now. Bottom line is this, though. Dermy's background represents many things for him. It represents his love for anime. It represents his love for science fiction, gaming, and his open support for the many groups within our sphere. Geeks and Gamers, Friday Night Tights, a little bit of this, a little of that. And he buys the merch. He does what somebody who supports something they love, a fan, needs to do. Buys merch to support the product, the people that they enjoy. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is this. What happened is when Dermy backed the redheaded libertarian into a corner by basically breaking down her commentary and showing her to be a grifter, a full-on true grifter that will hide behind her beliefs when she's threatened. She got nasty. She got nasty and honestly went full libtard. Now, she's a libertarian, so libtard can still apply. But she went cancel culture on him, and she started making fun of his background and how he looked. Now, of course, we make fun of how Dermy looks all the time, so that's nothing new, and that's water off his back. But she did what those who get threatened do. They reach and they attack simply to attack because they're threatened. And she made fun of his background. She made fun of him being fat. Like, we don't call him fat all the time anyway. And she made fun of the plushies and said, you're gay, you're this. Of course, Dermy's gay. Of course, Dermy's gay. But the plushies, they're plushies of the groups he supports. His anime stuff, that's money he has spent to show off his devotion, his many Gundams, his manga, all that kind of stuff, his gaming stuff. And when she went after his stuff, that's when it got worse for her. Because when that happened, it tapped into our sphere, who essentially rallied behind Dermy for just being Dermy and a nerd and a geek and a passionate fan of things. So it spiraled out of control for her. And Redhead Libertarian got destroyed for about a 48-hour period. Thursday, Friday, a little bit into Saturday. She got annihilated. And like every good grifter, she has to now, many days later, be obsessed with her loss and try and spin it into victory. Now, I was shown this morning because I'm not following any of this stuff. I'm not following those. She apparently now, what is today? This is from yesterday. No, it's from yesterday. So as of yesterday, last night, it's still last night, she has not let go of this loss that our Dermy essentially ushered in one of the most embarrassing losses on the internet she's probably ever suffered. So last night she posted this. Now, of course, Dermy, being the good, proper grifter, in order to make content and push his channel, he made a video about her. He made a video about her. Now, essentially, she found out about the video, which means which means Dermy wins because he's now living in her head. He's living in her head. And she then posted this last night. So anyway, some slob I humiliated on here last week and then forgot about. Clearly, you didn't forget about him. You have been monitoring this entire situation. You hot but dumb bitch. Titled, I Triggered Her, where he created fake X posts and took very to lab. First of all, this proves she's not a real content creator because when you make a thumbnail, you take liberties to get traction and attention. This is a standard thumbnail procedure for some quote tweets where you take a fake post and you use it in your thumbnail. That's a standard thumbnail operating procedure for a lot of people that deal in this shit. So Dermy is within his rights to make a fake looking thumbnail of her post. All right? Where he created a fake X post and took a victory lap. I'm not even mad. This is amazing. Look at this one. Not even mad. You're obsessed. You're obsessed. Dermy made his video and walked away like the good bomb thrower he is. He walked away. He made his content on you and he moved on. But she's obsessed. And then, of course, I'm going to read those real quick, see if she got any more replies. Because I looked at the replies on this. And, of course, an abysmal for her. Remember, she's a nearly 1 million account follower. 1 million follower account on X. On this, all she pulls down is 17 comments, 12,000 views, and 231 likes. She has lost her traction because of this. She can't get, this is why she's clinging to this right now. She's desperate. She's afraid because a barely little over 3,000 YouTube channel and little over 1,000 X account annihilated her, made her look like a fool. Now, some of her white knights showed up in this one. They make fun of it, but it's pathetic. It's pathetic. These people don't understand it. And I bring this up for a reason. One, just to point out that Dermy got a win, and we got to give Dermy credit for a win. Dermy got a win over grifters who I despise. I despise people like her. Yes, I would have sex with her, but I despise her as a person because she talks about, I did this with my daughters. I did this. She constantly throws that shit out there because she wants the internet head pats. And because she is a grifter that associates with Tim Pool, who's also essentially a grifter. Point is this. I bring this up for a reason in the end. It's been a long walk with me. I understand this, but here's why I bring this up. It's an idea I've been trying to put together for a while now. And I'll make a real video or have a real commentary discussion eventually. But here's the tease. The likes of redheaded libertarian and her really nice tits and Tim Pool and Matt Walsh, and all these people that run around on the right and grift for your attention, they have forgotten the important statement made by Andrew Breitbart over a decade ago. Must remember, Andrew Breitbart said, politics is downstream from culture. And in this case, we'll add pop culture into it because that's what this is about now, the pop culture war. The culture war has become the pop culture war. There's no two ways, ifs, ands, or buts about it. They have forgotten this, and they are doing what every conservative has always done when they get any measure of victory in politics. They've begun this side's version of essentially purity testing. First of all, you have to have the correct stance on every little thing. You have to be against this. You have to be against that. In this case, it's the Iran war. You have to be the right religion. You can't just be a coalition of religions. Have to be the right religion and blame other religions for stuff. And then you have to be an adult. You have to be an adult. You have to have a family. You have to have your kids. You have to be training them according to their standards. Because I'm the age that I am, and I don't have a wife and children, unfortunately, because of the mistakes I've made in my life, and also because I am not the best at with women. I have basically embarrassed myself for years when push came to shove, and not recently, but I mean in the past. I make all the mistakes. I make all the mistakes when it comes to courting women. All of them. I can admit that. I am not the best at making women go, yes, I'll date you longer than we're dating, or dating in general. Not the best at it. I can admit that. But according to them, I'm a failure as a human being because I haven't procreated, because I don't have a family, and I'm not contributing to this and that. They create these litmus test standards, and they apply them. And one among them is, because I enjoy my hobbies, movies, television, anime, science fiction, fantasy, gaming, I am not a man or an adult. And she's one of them. One of the reasons she went after Dermy is because he's an open geek and nerd. And she would go after me and go after everybody else. Yet, during this whole thing, she pandered to Gary to get him on her show when Gary joined in the side of defending Dermy. Gary, a 1 million+ YouTube channel, posts something on X, gets traction instantly. She pandered to him, not realizing that he is the king of our mountain right now in our sphere. He's the king of our mountain. He is the guy who basically says, yeah, here's what we're talking about. He directs the traffic. Calls everybody all kinds of names, but then she'll pander to the larger channel to grift her point. But she's forgotten the point. That what we talk about, the pop culture news, Hollywood, television, entertainment, novels, comics, gaming, all of that is exactly what Andrew Breitbart said. It is that which influences politics, the stuff that morons like her claim to be experts on, when in fact, all she has is a nice pair of tits and a pretty face. But that's all she is. She's a moron. She's not smart. She's not smart at all. And she's probably raising her daughters to be also morons too. Bottom line is this, though. There's a reason what Andrew Breitbart said is still important. Because look what has happened as we have been fighting this pop culture war for the past 5 to 8 years, when shit got started around. Actually, no, we'll go full decade here. We'll say 2016. We'll go full decade when Trump was elected. We'll go full decade on this statement. For the past 10 years, some of us longer than others. There's a reason what Andrew Breitbart says is important, because look at the results we have accomplished. Look at the results. Because of constant coverage of how bad Disney is, how bad every studio is, Corpo is, all this kind of stuff that have ruined everything from Star Wars to Star Trek to Doctor Who, the attempted ruination of Lord of the Rings, all this stuff. Look what has happened. Hollywood is in collapse. They're falling apart. Nobody cares about their messaging, their indoctrinated left-wing commie Marxist bullshit that they've crammed into all of their movies and television and literary works. Nobody's paying attention anymore because we shone the light of truth, because we remembered what Andrew Breitbart said. Politics is downstream from pop culture. So now, because the commie Marxist pop culture is failing to indoctrinate the masses anymore, politics changes because we covered it. And I'm using the grand we. I did my part. I have done my part where I could for my small channel, for whatever it's worth. She doesn't get that. Tim Pool doesn't get that. Matt Walsh doesn't get that. None of them get that. They think they're the standard bearers. No, they're not. They're idiots. They're mocked. They do not have an ounce of actual integrity or passion outside of themselves. What the hell? Telemarketer. Really? Yeah, I can't put my phone on vibrate because what if my mom needs to call me? Go away. I'm getting a lot of trash phone calls lately. A lot of spam. A lot of spam bullshit. Anyway. What was I saying? They don't get it. They don't get it. They don't get it. We get it. You guys get it. That's why I call you the gatekeepers. You guys understand. You understand that by protecting our franchises, we protect the messaging portal. We're going to talk about it in a little bit. There's a reason the failure of Disney Star Wars is so important, because the destruction of Star Wars by Disney, Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, now Dave Filoni, they lost a vehicle to push so much stuff. Nobody watches anymore. Nobody cares anymore. Collapse of Star Trek. Star Trek, which for 60 years has been an arbiter of social discussion, intelligent social discussion, lost because of idiots, because of ideological idiots who had to literally publicly admitting it. Alex Kurtzman admitted they turned it into a vehicle for their identity politics, their left-wing commie Marxist bullshit. So here it is. Here it is. What Dermy did was funny. And did he probably use some words that, you know, I wouldn't say, but like, yeah, probably. But Dermy can say what he wants. He has free speech. He can be as insulting as he wants, whether it's in good taste or not. That's up to you. But what he did was show off how even on the right, there are grifters who are not your friends. They're not in it to push any sort of good thing for the nation, for America, for the West, for freedom. They're in it for themselves, and there's nothing wrong with that. As I always say, just don't pretend that you're doing this for other people. You're doing this because essentially you're narcissists. When you post religiously like she does on this platform, on X, you're a narcissist. You want the attention. It makes you feel good. When her husband is plowing her, she's thinking about her X posts, and that gets her turned on. Yeah, I made that joke. That's what she's thinking about. She's not thinking about, I'm trying to fight for the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Bill of Rights in general. I'm not fighting for the freedom of our republic. I'm doing this because I want attention and I want to make money, and that's fine. Just don't pretend otherwise. And at the same time, when you get backed into a corner, don't cry foul and say I'm a Christian being persecuted. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's the loser mentality. That's the same as calling somebody Hitler. When you call somebody Hitler, you've lost the argument. When you hide behind your faith and use it as a shield and claim persecution, you've lost the argument. And she lost the argument, and this post last night proves that she is still obsessed about the L that our good boy Dermy gave her, and that she has lost the message all the way through. So that's funny. That's funny. Anyway. So there you go. I had to talk about that. Probably went on a little longer than I intended, but I did have a point I wanted to wrap onto that. Well, listen, technically, I will have children with me. A bunch of guys are going to be, a bunch of other people are going to be there, and I'll be herding cats to an extent, and they're there to mock me. We're gonna behave like children that day. They're gonna behave like children. Listen, Lindsey Graham is probably likely gay, and he went there with his boyfriend, and they had some fun. All right, whatever. Matt Walsh is an idiot too. Matt Walsh is an idiot too. He's not smart. He thinks he's smart. Matt Walsh, like so many people of his ilk, they think they're the smartest person in the room because they've been told that enough times, but they're not. They're not. Now, I don't know if I could beat Matt Walsh in a debate on politics or any of that stuff. I'm good, but I don't know. He lives in it. He lives in that world, and I purposefully left that world. I don't want to be a part of that world. Then again, I would make him look like a fool because I could bring my vast Renaissance knowledge into play and point out where he's wrong on everything. So I might lose in a straight up political debate with him, but my knowledge as a Renaissance man, I would annihilate him. I feel pretty comfortable saying that because he cannot apply his beliefs to more than his narrow worldview. I can apply my beliefs to a large swath of things. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. They're used to dealing with people who cannot articulate properly and have a cogent argument, whereas I live in the world of cogent arguments. It's where I breathe. It's where I have to think logically in order to survive. Everything I do is based on logic. It's very Vulcan of me. Everything I do, all my actions are based on logic. Does this make sense? Does it make sense? Oh, well, that was a long one. Let's see. Hang on. I haven't set the news up yet, but we'll wait for that. We got a couple other things to go over. All right. Since we didn't have roundtable yesterday, we got to go over the box office a little bit. We got to do a little box office roundup here. Just because we didn't do roundtable yesterday, got to stay on top of that. So, by all accounts, based on the numbers we have, Project Hail Mary, as Jed suggested to me on Saturday, Project Hail Mary has indeed stepped into profit. Not by much, but Project Hail Mary has now made profit. Its break even was around $500 million, and it has now made profit at 510 worldwide. That's great, and it's got a little bit of time left. It's going to remain in theaters for a while yet, but according to Jed, in about a week or so, next week, Project Hail Mary will be released on digital, which I think is a mistake. They should have kept this in theaters alone at least until the end of this month, at least until May. But this is Amazon we're talking about. I believe it's Amazon. So they're idiots. They're dumb. They don't understand how it works. Releasing it on digital is not going to help things. Yes, Arturo, it is worth watching. I've done a chat, maybe watch his reviews a couple weeks ago because Kratos had me watch it, and Jed and I have talked about it on Roundtable. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. It's worth a watch. It's a good movie. Jed and I differ on how good it is, but that's because this thing is Jed's favorite new toy. He's seen it as of yesterday, I think, 5 times now. He's seen it 5 times. He'll take any excuse to go watch it. But it is a good movie. It's worth your time. It is worth your time. Good movie with friendship and stuff like that in it. So here we are. Project Hail Mary has made its money. It's made its profit. It's had its good weeks. It had its good weeks. You see, its holds have been good. 80 only dropped to 54 in week 2. Another good hold in week 3, and a really good hold from week 3 to week 4. And it's down to single digits last week, but it's still over at least 2 million, and a respectable weekend this weekend. So it's continued to do this, and now it's a profit, and it's still in its theaters. It's still in its majority of theaters here. Hasn't been taken out of that many theaters, only a couple of hundred. So Project Hail Mary has done what it needed to do, and it deserves everything it gets. At the same time, Super Mario Galaxy is ruling the world. As we predicted, it broke $600 million this weekend, on its way to $1 billion. I think it has the gas to get to 1.5, but maybe more realistically, probably 1.3 at this point. Looks like it's heading for at least 1.3. It all depends on how much more steam it kicks up internationally. I think by next weekend, it'll probably break 800 million. Now, here's the thing. The movie's been profit. With 110 budget, it was in profit last weekend. This week, it's made all the money to fund multiple movies again, just like the first movie made money for multiple movies. And Disney and Illumination are happy. I think it'll break. I think it'll get 1315. That's where it's going to get. I think it'll get there because they'll just leave it in here. They're not going to dump it on streaming. They're just going to leave it in theaters for another month at least, and it'll get there. So good for Super Mario Brothers Galaxy. Good for Mario Galaxy. Good for that because it's just a fun movie by all accounts. So that's what. So and that's about it because there's nothing that's the box office. It has no competition. It has no competition going into the next couple weeks. So there you go. There you go. There you go. So just it's a quick little box office roundup. Just a little one. Not a lot. But we had to touch on it because we do that around here. We like to pay attention. Giant. Ah, you found him. All right. You don't actually fight him, though. You don't fight him. You help him. There are bosses. I've completed the Asurian quest line and discovered that there's multiple ways to get scales. I'm very excited. Your crafting is not limited to what you find after it's all said and done. But have fun with the end of it. It's a little bit annoying doing it. You have to do that, but I figured it out myself. So you'll figure it out, Kel. You're a smart guy. I did a lot of wandering last night yesterday in Crimson Desert. I was fleshing out my map so I could try and find another dye vendor. And I did. I found the one in Delasia finally. It took me all night. I missed him by a hair when my search patterns around town. And I tried going other places. I really did expand my map last night. I solved a couple puzzles while I was at it. Well, no, we're not going to. I'm not going down Crimson Desert Hole. The Crimson Desert Hole. We will do that later tonight when we play some more because we got a lot to do on Crimson Desert. But we're not done here. We got other things to talk about. Anyway, thank you everybody for being here. Whether you've been here for the past almost 40 minutes, we're going to go long today. Because I got catch-up stuff to talk about. I got commentary to make. I have one real story I'm going to comment on. This and that. In fact, you know what? One's connected to the other. So we're looking like that. What's this? Oh, that's that. We don't need that anymore. We don't need you anymore. Actually, I'll wait to set up the news till it's time for the news. Anyway, all right, so here's something else I want to talk about. Since we did talk about pop culture, downstream politics, we're going to talk about those who are upset that their politics have lost all traction in pop culture. Last week, we made fun of the fact that they were striking the sets of Starfleet Academy. And in response to that, all the stands were crying so hard. They were crying so hard. How can you be happy that there's no Star Trek in production on television for the first time in a long time? And we go, we are happy because there hasn't been Star Trek in production on television since Enterprise ended. Because Kirsten Trek isn't Star Trek. And it's part of this retarded belief system that you have to love everything if it has X franchise title over it. If it's all Star Trek, it's all Star Wars. Why are you just haters? Don't you understand it's gone now? And we go, yes, we understand. We actively work to get it destroyed. I did my part. Fuck Gerstmann Trek. It's over. It's done. It's not coming back. And during my Academy travels, because I learned about a whole new bunch of stands during my Academy coverage, and so now their bullshit comes up on my X feed. One of them is called "I Love Spaceships." Who's a retard? They're all retards. This is one of those special retards who keeps coming across my view, my field of vision. So he posted this. Let's see, a couple days ago. I'm sorry, I grow my nose. Time to trim my nose hairs. I'm all itchy. Never thought I'd see the day when Star Trek fans celebrated the destruction of show sets. You are awful. You are not a Star Trek fan. A Star Trek fan celebrates Star Trek in any form, even Enterprise. Yeah, well, Enterprise was actual Star Trek. For all its problems, and Enterprise had a lot of problems, it was still Star Trek. It made a couple of things lore-related retarded, like they should not have done the Borg shit. The whole Xindi arc, while cool, an attack on Earth that had never been mentioned before in Star Trek history. Now, if we're talking about it, it's there's stuff involved with that. Okay, it's bad, but it's still Star Trek because it still respected the ideas, the platform of what Gene Roddenberry handed off to other people eventually to keep going. So you are awful. You're not a fan. No, you're not a fan. You're not a fan because you're celebrating the destruction of the franchise because Kurtzman Trek has led to the decimation of the brand. I mean, we still have real Star Trek. We still got it. You just have to go watch it and remember it and celebrate and share it. But this jackass will call you the fake fan if you're happy about Starfleet Academy being canceled. And the commentary in here is brilliant. Listen to this. So one guy here, that's Cult Talk. The Sci-Fi for me calls him right on it. That's Cult Talk. Cult Talk. Bad storytelling gets called bad storytelling. And the celebration is for the clear indication that Kurtzman Trek is done. Destruction happened over the last 10 years of his watch. Truth bomb. But of course, what you could see, what is our little stance instant reply? No. You're just a bigot who was triggered by all the women and people of color and gay people. Try being a better human so you can stop being so mad at the TV all the time. Without even a mention of Mikey Burnham or any of the bullshit that is Kurtzman Trek. The instant stand response of, you're a bigot. I mean, this is the shit we say as a joke. You're a bigot. He says it right away. He says it out of the blue. You're a bigot. You just hate women and gay people and people of color. It's their default because they've been indoctrinated this bullshit, which is why, as I stated earlier in the discussion, it's so important to remember what Andrew Breitbart said. Politics is downstream of pop culture. And he said culture, but I say pop culture. This messaging that this idiot is pushing no longer is reaching people because we have pointed out how bad Kurtzman Trek is and nobody watches Kurtzman Trek. That's the victory. And it goes on and on. It goes on and on. He has his followers, but they're all going to be talking about, oh, you all destroyed it. You destroyed it. It's terrible. Oh, you're all fake fans. Here it is. Makes it political. I'm sure you say a thing about Star Trek series that was all about why conservative MAGA principles were great, right? You celebrate Star Trek in any form. Of course not, because it is antithetical to what Star Trek is, and therefore you cannot exist. MAGA is everything Star Trek has tried to cure. No. You see, this is what proves this guy is a fake fan. Star Trek presents all sides of opinions. And this guy's been indoctrinated to think that because you believe whatever the beliefs are of conservatism and MAGA, that you are the bigots and the Nazis and the fascists. He has been indoctrinated to think that. Well, of course, that's not what MAGA is. MAGA is just about freedom and power to the people with the traditional ideas of our republic, the Bill of Rights, freedom of speech, the right to bear arms, no religious persecution, no mix of church and state, that kind of stuff. That kind of Bill of Rights, which protects us from our government. But this guy has been indoctrinated. So this guy doesn't get that because he has been told, programmed to think a certain way. Except you see the sets of Kurtzman Trek are not real Star Trek. And Star Trek United is on the way. Star Trek United is not on the way. That's not real news. That's not on the road. By toxic and awful human. Yeah, nobody. Star Trek United is not happening. That's fake news. They've manufactured that. It isn't coming. It's not happening. Paramount doesn't know what they're doing yet. They're going back to the movies. They're not going to television. But point is, so you see what I'm talking about. There's this belief. It's a combination belief here. One, you have to love everything. You can't not love it because if it has the name, it's that thing, even if it's made poorly. And secondly, it proves my point. They inject their indoctrinated belief system into it all. It's all there. And when it doesn't work, when it doesn't land, they instantly call you the names and you call them out for it. And they're melting down. And then it goes more to that. The other side of it. We'll go to Star Wars, the other side of it. Why do some Star Wars fans hate on Mandalorian so much? It's like they're waiting for it to flop. I'm so tired of these tweets and articles. And then here come the usual people. Of course, this guy has limited his responses, so only the faithful can reply. So you're only going to see cocksucking and ball gobbling in this one. Star Wars fans hate everything. I know, right? The show is brilliant because they're macho and they don't like seeing that the Mandalorian is a male partner. Or they Star Wars fans hate everything. They're the worst. The fans, being Star Wars fans, are the biggest haters. So it's this kind of mentality of how could you possibly hate anything Star Wars? Because Disney Star Wars isn't Star Wars. It's the same argument. Carson Trek is not Star Trek. But they don't see that. They're programmed to love it because it just says Star Wars. I have to love it because it's Star Wars. If I don't, it goes away. Got news for you. One, you're gay. Two, no, it is not Star Wars. Never has been Star Wars. Never will be Star Wars. And here's once again how we are winning. This guy is so afraid of having pushback to this comment. He regulates who can reply, which means he'll only get the tiny little bit of people that agree with him, as opposed to the large population of real fans and normies who have rejected Disney Star Wars. So on the other side of all of this, people like these individuals who go, how can you hate this? How can you do that? They hide behind their fantasy. They create these delusions that everything's fine, that they're the heroes, that the toxic chuds, the MAGAs, are the ones ruining it all. No, listen. The normies have rejected all of your crap. They're not interested in what you're talking about. They're not interested in supporting your bullshit. That's why everything you love or pretend to love, because you only love these things because they're vehicles for your commie Marxist bullshit, has failed. It's all failed. Dropping like flies. But you have to love it. And if you don't, you're evil. You're evil. We go back to this guy. This guy paints you as evil if you don't love Kurtzman Trek. You're evil. You believe in fascism. There's no middle ground. And you know what? There shouldn't be middle ground. There's us and there's them. And in the end, there'll be only us. Because these people are not fans. They're fake fans. They are stans. They're idiots. They're trash. They're afraid. Because if you lock your replies, if you lock your comments, you don't want to have the debate that you know you're going to lose. So I just wanted to point that out. It's a fun little thing. They're afraid. They know they've lost the argument. It's over. And you know what's really over? You know what's really over? What's really over is Disney Star Wars. Disney Star Wars is in lots and lots of trouble. We are roughly little over a month from The Mandalorian and Grogu, and subsequently my Day of Doom. Mandalorian Grogu comes out on May May 21st, May 22nd, Thursday, Friday. May 21st, May 22nd. I'll be seeing it on actual real Star Wars Day, May 25th, the Day of Doom. Details for that will follow. Mandalorian Grogu has zero traction, zero enthusiasm. Nobody cares about this movie. Nobody's excited for this movie because Disney has essentially destroyed the relevancy of Star Wars. Disney Star Wars is dead. As I always say, real Star Wars is alive. You just have to go read it and watch it and play it. It's right there for you. But Disney Star Wars is essentially dead. And The Mandalorian Grogu will prove that in roughly a month. And here's the thing. The Mandalorian Grogu is actually set up for financial success because it has a low budget comparatively to other Disney Star Wars movies. Its budget is around somewhere between 166 and 180. Some say 175. So some say a little around. So I'm averaging at a 175. That's where I'm averaging. It's probably over $200 million, but we'll never know that. But we know the truth. But there it is. It has a relatively low budget. They managed to make this movie for peanuts comparatively to the sequel trilogy and all the other crap that they shat out for the past decade or more. So it had a chance. Problem is this. It's not tracking very well. It's not. It's only tracking with its budget and this and that. It's only tracking for about a 71 million to 84 million domestic launch. Possibly 103 if you count 4 days, Thursday to Monday, Memorial Day weekend. Possibly. But here's the problem. As I said, there's no enthusiasm for this movie. None. Not a drop. There's only mocking. We have had reports of other trailers coming out since the Super Bowl and the time after, and the week after the Super Bowl in February, where after we had the abysmal fake Budweiser commercial wrapped into the Mandalorian trailer, they released the real trailer, which got ripped and torn apart for its stupidity. Nobody's talking about this movie. And when they did talk about it, it was not good press. It was bad press. And all press is not good press. When your only in first Star Wars movie in years is essentially mocked for its childlike production, for its pathetic looking effects and puppetry and dialogue. When you're mocked, when that's the result of your investment in marketing, you're in trouble, which is why it's aiming for a lower opening haul than Solo. And I have to apologize. I looked at the wrong one. It was 85 million. It's 85 million, I was looking at the Solo thing there. I apologize. Looking at the wrong part there. It was 80. So it's going to likely open lower than Solo, which lost money. Solo, which I believe, according to this or another article I read, only grossed $393 million worldwide in its run, which led to actually losing money. Officially. They couldn't hide it. But here's the thing. With its lower budget, Mandalorian Grogu, its break even is around 400 to 450, give or take. Based upon the numbers we have, and we have to play the game properly, Mando and Grogu, its break even is relatively low compared to other Disney Star Wars movies. I have been on the record repeatedly for the past 2 years Go back. The receipts are all there in streams and videos. The ceiling for Mandalorian and Grogu, according to me, my prediction is $450 million worldwide. That's its ceiling. Anything under $500 million for a Disney Star Wars movie will be considered a flop. Now, because of its low budget, if it makes around 450, it might actually squeak out a teensy bit of profit, enough to buy Dave Filoni another dildo. Hell, he'll splurge to get himself a baldo. All right? That's what he'll do. But that is still going to be a massive failure because Disney Star Wars has been rejected. No one's talking about this movie. No one's talking about Ahsoka Season 2. That's happening later this year. It'll be happening after this. Ahsoka Season 2 is coming. Nobody's talking about it. Maul Shadow Lord premiered last week. Nobody's talking about it. You know why? Because I watched the first 2 episodes. Because it's dog shit. It's a terrible show. Poorly written. Voice acting is average. Sam Witwer, yes, he's a good voice actor, but he's about it. And of course, it's riddled with lore problems to real Star Wars. And the animation's dog shit too. But nobody's talking about that show. Episodes 3 and 4 dropped last night. Nobody's talking about it today. Because nobody's watching it. Nobody cares. And nobody cares because the commie Marxists, those who are at Disney, those at the Disney Lucasfilm, Dave Filoni, they've lost the ability to push their message, to indoctrinate the audiences because it's been rejected. But that will not stop the stands. That will not stop the stands. Our good old friend Jeremy from Manabite, who remember when he said that because there was a Mandalorian Grogu trailer at Hoppers, all the kids are going to see it and they're going to go see Mandalorian Grogu. Hoppers was a disaster. Mario Galaxy made more money in a single weekend than Hoppers was made in its entire month-long run. And lost money. Nobody saw Hoppers. But that's the belief system of these guys. But he says, in response to the individual we talked about a little while ago, in response to why do some Star Wars fans hate on Mandalorian so much? It's like they're waiting for it to flop. I'm so tired of the tweets and articles. Good old Jeremy from Manabite. Because a lot of them need Star Wars to fail. That's the audience they've cultivated for themselves. They're not allowed to like Star Wars anymore. They have to hate it to keep the grift going. No, you are keeping your grift going by pushing the false narrative that we hate it because we're just trying to generate clicks and traction. I'll go full screen for myself again for a moment here. No, I don't need to hate Star Wars because I love real Star Wars. I will enjoy real Star Wars anytime I want. Play a game, watch a movie, read a book. And I know we got books to read. We're going to get back to that eventually. Point is, no, I don't cultivate a hate audience. I am merely a passionate fan who is, there we go. No, that's not it. There we go. I am merely a passionate fan who is defending the thing that I love. I am defending real Star Wars from jackass fake fan stands like you that believe in the concept of we have to love it because it's called Star Wars and because Disney bought it and they own the rights to it and they excommunicated the expanded universe, that we have to love the Disney canon because that's the canon. Because that's the belief these guys have. This kind of guy who rejects real Star Wars. He rejects the expanded universe. If it has to be Disney because they're the ones that own it, so what they say goes. No, you're a jackass who's full of shit and tells lies constantly. According to him, remember, according to this jackass, Grogu rakes in $1 billion a year in merch for Disney, which is flatly false. I've done the research. There is zero evidence for that claim. None. Not a single article or receipt pertaining to Disney Star Wars merch with Grogu at the top of that pyramid, bringing in $1 billion plus a year for Disney. That's a lie. This is a liar. But that's what you need to do. That is what stands need to do. When the lies are all you have to keep telling them in the hopes that they become truth. But the truth is this. Mandalorian and Grogu is said to be a failure. It may squeak out a slight profit in the end if it breaks 400 million to 450. If it breaks 400 million, it's probably breaking out a small little profit, but it's still a failure. That means nobody showed up. People even showed up for Rise of Skywalker as the sequel trilogy was on flames and dying and burning. They still showed up to get it over $1 billion. It didn't make money. It lost money. The receipts have been out to prove it. Per its budget, it lost money, but it still managed to generate enough cultural attention to be a $1 billion gross movie. Mandalorian and Grogu will not even sniff $500 million. It will cap out because there's no interest in what is essentially an hour, 20-minute episode of The Mandalorian, which doesn't have a following, which doesn't have an actual fan base. And I don't want to hear girls will go see it for, cute baby. That ain't happening. That ain't happening. But we'll be there, though. We will be in a Disney theater on May 25th because that is the Day of Doom. The Day of Doom, May 25th, 2026, where I will, because of your generous donations to a tier a year ago, around this time a year ago, I will be spending the day at Galaxy's Edge. We will be live streaming it on this channel. Some familiar faces will be there, where I will basically participate in a purchased by you, the chat, the subscribers, humiliation ritual. I will have my face painted. I will pretend to be a Stan all day long. I will go see the movie with that little, well, right now, I'll be walking around with a Baby Yoda all day. There is rumors, though, that we're going to get another one that day so it can be destroyed. He has to be told he's good. I have to be a Raylo. I have to support all this stuff. I'll do all kinds of things that day, and I must remain in character as a Stan to show how ridiculous Stans are. And then we're going to go to the theater. We're going to go to Disney Theater, and we will show you what'll be there. And I'm sure it'll have people there. It's a Disney Theater. The diehard faithful will be there. But we'll be there recording it. We'll see what it looks like. Monday, Memorial Day, the day 4 of its opening weekend box office. We'll see what it looks like. We'll see what happens. If anybody is stuck around, if they're taking their time to on a holiday, when a day off from work, to go and see Mandalorian and Grogu. So yeah, we're going to be there. So join me that day on the Day of Doom. When we'll see we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I think I'll be proven right. That opening day weekend will usher in the beginning and the end for Disney Star Wars. There you go. All right, I'm done. Yeah, it's not going to be good for me. It's not going to be good for me at all. It's going to be a rough day. And Jed has devised a punishment tier. If I break any of the rules, there'll be punishments involved. Not that day. It'll be follow-ups because I'm not at home. I will be in Florida. Unfortunately, I want Florida to be my home, but I will not be home. And when I get home, I got to do the fake review. I beg you guys, please support the fake review because the fake review is going to throw my channel into a little bit of chaos where some stans are going to think I'm a stan. It's going to be terrible. All right, let me set up the news so we can get started on the news, which I didn't set up earlier because I was thinking of other things. We got started. All right, so let's see. Anything on Stream Elements? Nope. Nothing on the Stream Elements. Okay, so why don't we get started on the news? and see where they take us, because we are already over an hour, and we still got to do chat, maybe watch us reviews. So let's get started. No dilly-dally, no shilly-shally. Anyway, all right, the news. Daily Show posts best adults 1849 ratings in more than 8 years. Notice they don't tell you the numbers outright because it's still probably dog shit because nobody watches that crap anymore. Listen, Super Mario Galaxy holds strong for Universal. John Waters cruises to his 80th birthday. Okay. CNN hires New York Times chief data scientist Chris Wiggins to head AI team. Yeah, that's probably going to work out well. I don't care. Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War, The Calamities. It's U.S. theatrical run. I guess they're putting the premiere in there. Listen, I'm looking forward to, when all is said and done, watching 1,000-Year Blood War, because I read the manga arc a couple of times, and it always felt like it was missing stuff. And I've been told and read that Kubo Sensei went in there with the anime and, with a couple of exceptions, made sure to have it be the definitive version of the 1,000-Year Blood War, because he's gonna bring back Bleach. We got the Hell arc coming. He's going to relaunch Bleach with a massive time skip with the Blood arc, with the Hell arc. Ruby Rose accuses Katy Perry of sexual assault. What? That's weird. That's weird. That's weird. I mean, yeah, I know that Orlando Bloom dumped Katy Perry. Good, get away from that psycho. But has she fallen so low that she's interested in the likes of Ruby Rose? I mean, for all intents and purposes, Katy Perry's an attractive woman. She's an idiot. Dumb beyond belief, but an attractive woman. You could do, if you feel like dining at the Clam Slam, you could do better than Ruby Rose. This feels like Ruby Rose trying to get attention. I don't know. This feels like lesbian drama. A U-Haul might have been involved. Trump put up a post of him as Jesus. Oh man, that's fucking crazy. That's crazy. Listen, the man's a trip. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Talia Ryder replaces Sophie Thatcher as season 2 starts production. I don't know, and I gotta blow my nose real quick. Hold on a second. There we go. Now I want to know, is she? Now remember, I didn't watch season 1 of Amazon's Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Is it Amazon? It might be Amazon. I don't remember. But didn't they make Mrs. Smith Asian? I'm just curious if she replaced the Asian. Oh, let me see. Yeah. They raced the last chick was Asian, and they race swapped her back to white to a more attractive woman. Yeah. All right, we have to look at this. We have to look at this real quick. So let me set this up right now. So I just want to compare this. I just want to do a compare and contrast. Okay, I just want to do a compare and contrast. So this is this is Talia Ryder, who is pretty. She's pretty. I like her. I'm down for her. All right, so let's get her up. Let's get a compare and contrast here. Talia Ryder. 2026. Let's get an accurate thing here. You know what? Screw it. We'll go with the picture right here. We'll go with the picture all dolled up. She's attractive. We'll go with this one. So now let me get Sophie Thatcher. I'm pretty sure I remember her being Asian. Let me see here now. Wait a minute. We're over here. I'm gonna be careful. Wants to be careful. Okay, so Sophie Thatcher. Oh no. Okay. Oh, this is I have it confused. This is the chick from Book of Boba Fett. This is the chick. This is the chick from Book of Boba Fett with the Power Ranger bikes. That's who this chick is. And yeah, she. Then what was I thinking of? I swear there was. How many Mr. and Mrs. Smith versions are there out there? All right, never mind. No story there. They just swapped a white girl for a white girl, but they swapped a more attractive white girl for a white girl. Essentially, they swapped a more attractive white girl. Yeah, that's the chick from Book of Boba Fett. That's funny. All right, Pluto. Who cares about Pluto adding stuff? You still gotta watch it like a TV channel. Movie theaters have staged a box office comeback this spring. Not really. Not really. Not really. Gutfeld's still owning people on late night, which is funny. Let's see. People still crying about the Paramount merger. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Nielsen names Roberto head of measuring science. Whatever. Nielsen needs to fix his house. They don't do things right there. Hunger Games Sunrise on the Reaping trailer. Nobody cares about Hunger Games anymore. Nobody cares. The last movie did not make money. In part because of Rachel Zegler. But nobody cares about this shit. That's a dead franchise. Dead franchise. Anything here. Anything here. Anything here. Anything that isn't trumped up, and I say that on purpose, political bullshit. Looks like no, nothing happened. Nothing interesting. Nothing interesting. Excuse me. Let's move on. It was just really a really harsh time. ScarJo reflects on being pigeonholed and pulled apart from her for her appearance early in her career. Once again, stop crying that you were given a lot of opportunities because you were hot when you were younger. Stop rewriting history. Just stop. More than 20 classic Warhammer PC games just hit Steam, including Shadow of the Horned Rat, Warhammer 40k, Fire Warrior, and Space Hulk. Shadow Horned Rat is not a good game. The controls, that game is not balanced well for strategic combat. It just isn't. It's not. I rented that game multiple times back in the day when I was desperate for games sometimes. I kept trying to play that game and I could never do it. It was not balanced well at all. Pikmin developer announces new name change to better align with our brand identity and lore after widespread criticism for being a Pokemon clone. Is that the thing that it was basically the combination of Pokemon and Palworld? Windrose. What's Windrose? If it's not Crimson Desert, I don't care. I don't know what Windrose is, though. Oh, no. Is that what this is? Is that what this is? Is that what they renamed it? Windrose? Still, it's funny. It was the opposite of what you saw in the movie. American Pie actress Shannon Elizabeth details difficult audition where she had to dance for Jason Biggs. You took your titties out and they were glorious. Daniel Radcliffe says he no longer feels cringe when watching himself in early Harry Potter movies, though disagrees with Andrew Garfield's praise that he was really good. I'm not even going near that. James Bond 007 game first light story spoilers leak following ratings board snafu. This game is not going to do well in the end, I don't think. I don't think it's going to do well. Pitstar Noah Wiley dresses Supriya Ganesh. Exit, don't care. Pokemon Go Pro accused of unsportsmanlike celebration style. He's fighting decision that stripped him of championship title. Pokemon Go, no. No. Do not praise these people for Pokemon Go. Don't. Rockstar game hackers say they will publish stolen data online. It accrues at a police report. So lesbians beating each other up. Lesbians beating each other up. What else is new? Anyway. I still say she can do better than Ruby Rose. Let's see. Oh, okay. Pirate PvE game. I read about that over the weekend. I read about that game over the weekend. Okay. I read about that one. So Rockstar hackers, whatever. Metro 2039 reveal and Xbox showcase set for this week. Marathon players are coming up with ideas for how to get more people into Ultra Hardcore Raid. Nobody's playing Marathon. We talked about that last week. Nobody cares. That game has failed. Former Xbox veteran says Naughty Dog was right to cancel Last of Us Online. Yeah. Bryan Cranston defends his Breaking Bad wife, Skylar, after Malcolm Middle star Frankie Muniz says he wanted to kill her and all she did was complain. I don't care. Apparently, the Malcolm in the Middle reboot has been a failure, a complete and total failure, just like we said it would be. Fable Dev reiterates fall 2026 release date. Yeah, we're looking forward to Fable. It might actually be a good game. We're looking forward to that now. EA finally shutting down Dragon Age Inquisition servers, at least on the PS3. All right. That would be that kind of sucks, but that's just a sign that you murdered your franchise. You murdered Dragon Age. It's done. Nobody cares about it. Hell, I don't know if I'll ever play any of those games again at this point. I don't. Ash of Creation dev hit by fresh allegations over company spending. Yeah, they're still in trouble, I bet. Percy Jackson star Walker Scobell speaks out after death threats sent to his potential prom dates. And guess who that's from? Stans. Stans are the ones that go nuts with the people they get their weird obsessions with. Not the people who just didn't like your show. The Stans are the weirdos. I am a victim of my own success. Invincible versus fans call for rage quitting to be penalized as beta comes to an end. I have no interest in the Invincible fighting game, so good luck with that. I was getting damaged and broken apart. Pete Hines says Bethesda is part of something that is not authentic or genuine. Gee, Bethesda's a shit company. What a surprise. Anyway, Kojima Productions reportedly casting villain for Fizzant. I don't care about Kojima games. I really don't. And Avatar movie footage seems to have leaked months ahead of Paramount Plus premiere. The Avatar franchise is dead. We don't need a mid-quel. We don't need something that's just going to give us the people you want when you know how they end up in Korra. Nobody cares. Because of Korra, nobody cares. You'll get some hardcores, but it's not going to get the enthusiasm you could have had if you never made Legend of Korra. Darth Maul's lightsaber is infused with sound of Sam Witwer's screams in Shadowlord. That's just pathetic. Pathetic. And that's all we got. We're not going to go too far back. All right. Gina Carano comments on her Disney cancellation. Sure. I don't really care. That story's done. The lawsuit ended. Everything. Gina's moved on from that. I don't know why we're even caring about this anymore. Mano Grogu set to open lower than Solo box office. Yes, we talked about that already. Sabrina Carpenter canceled after Coachella cultural mix-up goes viral. Well, she's a horrible person, and I still don't understand how she's famous. Disney Plus members offered summer resort hotel discounts at Walt Disney World. And mostly crap that doesn't much. And no, Elon, do not make dinosaurs, Elon. Elon, do not make dinosaurs. Don't do it. No. Just focus on Mars. Just focus on Mars. Don't do it. All right. Here we go. Okay, so there you go. That's the news. I'm sticking to it. Let's move on because we got one more thing to do today because it was paid for and I honor my debts. Once again, my friends, it is time to partake of a little ritual we call Chat Made Me Watch This Reviews. On today's docket, we'll be talking Season 1, Episode 1 of Good Omens. Full disclosure, I do not like anything Neil Gaiman makes. I have partaken in multiple television adaptations of his comics. I have tested the waters on his comics. I do not like Neil Gaiman. I just do not. His style, his humor, his content, his storytelling, it does not land with me. And it doesn't change with Good Omens season 1, episode 1. From what I've been told or learned over the years, because no one's actually ever talked to me about this before, this first season of 2, because the second one was apparently even worse, it was fairly faithful to the comic, Good Omens, which is essentially this. What I understand of this first episode. First of all, I was automatically taken out when God is a woman. I find that kind of thing always annoys me. That you have to make it known that God is a woman, and then at the same time, during the flashback to Eden, make Adam and Eve black. Why? Except for identity politics. Why? That's the only reason you did it. You did it to do that for that reason. Anyway, so according to this, this story sets it up that the world is only about 4,000 years old, and that everything else is all just propaganda created by God for whatever her big divine plan is. And essentially, it's all about these two individuals. You've got Michael Sheen's, I forget what his character's name is, but I know that David Tennant plays Crowley. They say Crowley. It's Crowley. Fuck your British pronunciation. It's Crowley. Anyway, they were there at the Garden of Eden. Michael Sheen's angel was the caretaker of the Sword of Fire, and Crowley was the serpent that convinced Eve to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And they did it for their own reasons. David Tennant's Crowley did it because he thought it was an evil thing to do, but he thinks he might have done the good thing, which is what a demon shouldn't do, in order to allow them free will and choice. And then Michael Sheen's character gives him the flaming sword, which he thought was a good thing, but might have been a bad thing by releasing a godly weapon like that out into the world. And from that point on, humanity goes forth, as the Bible dictates. So 4,000 odd years later, these two have been bumming around the world, staying in contact, even though they're supposed to be spying on each other. And essentially, it is now, I think this came out in 2019. Is that when this came out? This came out in 2019, season 1. The apocalypse is upon us. And it will be kicked off as the demons have smuggled the Antichrist to Earth. They have smuggled the Antichrist to Earth, and he's to be basically used to replace another baby that will be the son of a American diplomat, and then be raised in the halls of power in American political sphere, where he'll have all the power in the world to affect the grand designs of Satan and all that kind of shit. So what happens is the demons who smuggle the baby to Earth hand it over to Crowley, who's now supposed to deliver the baby to some nuns in England who are supposed to do the swap. The problem is, per God's divine plan, movements are set in play for what essentially is a 3-card Monty, as overly described in the episode. Way too much detail on 3-card Monty. And basically, there are 2 other babies being born there. One is where 2 babies being born at this convent, this satanic nun convent. One baby is the baby they planned on swapping in. Another one is just some random English couple from bumfuck England. And they get there, and because they are there, and one of the sisters, one of the satanic nuns, is a retard, she gives the wrong information, and because they're there, Crowley gets the wrong information and essentially initiates the wrong swap. So Agents of Heaven and Agents of Hell all believe that the Antichrist has been given to this diplomat, this American diplomat. when in fact the baby is the Antichrist ends up being given to the British couple, and their babies end up being given to the the American diplomat, and the actual American diplomat's baby, or I think the baby, the actual American diplomat's baby gets disappeared. So their baby goes to the American diplomat, and Antichrist goes to the British couple, and the American diplomat's baby goes gone, just vanishes. They shuffle it off someplace else. And here's the problem: now that the apocalypse is now going to be started, because what's going to happen is, according to the show, when a hellhound specifically chosen for the Antichrist is released and he names the dog, the apocalypse will begin when he's on his 11th birthday. And here's the thing: both Crowley and Michael Sheen's character Angel don't want the apocalypse to happen because they like Earth for all its stuff. He like to eat their sushi, like to drink, like the modern stuff, this and that. Because Crowley doesn't live in hell; he lives up on the world. He gets to fuck around and have a good time. And they both don't want this to happen, and they convince each other, or Crowley convinces Michael Sheen, this and that, and it's a bit of this, bit of that. It's, he does the bad thing by making the angels start to fall, this and that, whatever. I think that's the theme they're going with there. And they institute a plan to try and make sure that the Antichrist is neither good nor evil and will just not give a shit, and therefore the apocalypse won't happen. He won't name the dog. He'll just ignore the dog. Problem is, they think the kid at the diplomat house is the Antichrist, but the Antichrist has just been fucking off and been raised by normal parents over in Bumblefuck, England. And he's raised to be normal. He's not particularly evil. He has his own little friends. They work in their little fantasy club, but he has his desires. He wants a dog, and the dog gets released, and he finds the dog, and he names the dog, and the apocalypse starts, while these two are fucking around trying to been influencing the wrong kid all this time, and he's just a normal idiot. So essentially, by the end of the episode, it goes on for about an hour, and it just feels like it's so much a waste of time. I'm bored the whole time. So, but the episode, I guess, sets up the whole premise of the season, which is only about 6 episodes long. It looks like they now need to try and stop the apocalypse, which they tried to stop but failed to stop because they want to keep the world. And now nobody knows, neither heaven nor hell knows where the Antichrist is. And I think his name is Adam. Yeah, his name's Adam. Hey, I'm the Antichrist. Everybody. I'm the Antichrist. No, his name is Adam. And they named the other boy supposed to be named, he's named Warlock. And there was this whole joke about the naming going on. Fell flat for me. But anyway, and that's the episode in a nutshell. Now, during it, of course, you've got the performances of Michael Sheen and David Tennant, which are the bright spot. Even though I find the episode boring and I'm put off by the identity politics shoved in right in the beginning. This is 2019, remember, the height of identity politics being injected into all culture. Michael Sheen and David Tennant are great. They're great. They are what they are. They're excellent actors. They've worked together on a lot of stuff. They're familiar with each other. Their back and forth is fantastic. And they have a lot. They're having fun. You can feel they're having fun. But their performances are not enough to keep me entertained. I don't care where this story goes. I do not. I'm not interested. Because Neil Gaiman is not interesting to me as a storyteller. So now I guess they're going to go on an adventure around the world trying to find the correct boy and avert the apocalypse. I guess. And I don't know. Maybe. I don't know what happens in this. I don't know. Obviously, the apocalypse doesn't happen because there was a season 2, even though there was no lore to draw on. I believe season 2 was a purely television-created thing, and then they tried to make them both gay together. But I'm just not interested. I'm not. I have been interested in years, and I've never decided to. I've never had any desire to see the series, so I've never watched it, and it took Ariel to make me watch this. But that's the whole idea of this. You make me watch it I either don't care about or don't want to watch. But I've given this a chance, and I don't want to watch the rest of it. Once Upon a Time, as a completionist, I would have watched it just to say, okay, I got to finish this. No, I got Crimson Desert to play, man. I got better things to do than watch this. So, Good Omens season 1, episode 1. I guess if you like the comic, you're probably into it. But as someone who didn't read the comic and doesn't like Neil Gaiman in general, I am kind of just put off by it in general. I'm not amused. I'm not entertained. And I see and this thing is identity politics all over it because it was made during that period of time. So there you go. Chat made me watch his reviews. I'm not entertained by this, but others were. But they weren't for season 2 because it got canceled after season 2. They didn't make any more of this. It was done. So there you go. There you go. Thank you, Ariel, for the support. Even though I didn't like it, I did not enjoy it. There you go. She'll probably make me watch another episode. Probably. Because that's what she does. She wants to torture me. Anyway. All right, boys and girls. We're done here. That's the end of the show. What do we got going on this week? Well, tonight there will be some Crimson Desert. Of course. There'll be Crimson Desert. We have to do Crimson Desert. We didn't stream it all weekend. I played it. I've set up a whole bunch of stuff to do. We got adventure galore. It's gonna happen. Rest of the week, like I said, I don't know if we'll do a show tomorrow. One, because I don't like doing a Tuesday show personally. I really don't like doing it on Tuesday. 2, I got maintenance coming for their stupid shit, and I don't know when they're going to be here. And I cannot be doing a show when maintenance arrives. I cannot. I must be paying attention to when they come in here. It's only I wait all day for less than 5 minutes of them being here, but I must pay attention. I must, because I have to go answer the door, this and that. Got to see what they do, and then get them the fuck out of here and clean up after they leave. So, no show tomorrow. More streaming tomorrow. Video games likely. Maybe I'll get a video out. Maybe I'll pluck one of the ideas I'm messing around with and put a video out. Maybe something will happen. Let's see. Drive-in this weekend. Jed has us watching another Horatio Hornblower episode. I forget which one. I know which one in my head. I just forget the title. It's the one where he has the con artist Duchess. It's that one. So we'll be talking about that on Drive-In this weekend. Rest of the week, we'll see what it brings. We'll see what happens. There is going to be likely no Anime Odyssey this month because Jeremy and I failed to select something because I had internet problems that night when the last Anime Odyssey. So we didn't choose something. And also, my schedule's a little wonky in May. We might just push it to do something in May before I go down for Day of Doom. We'll see. We might have to punt Anime Odyssey to June. And I got a lot of other stuff going on, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll try to have Roundtable this weekend. Hopefully enough shit will happen that I'll be able to make a show. We'll see. We will find out. It's only the beginning of the week. And other than that, we'll see what the week brings us. Either way, thank you, everybody, for being here today. As always, I appreciate your support. Hit that like button. Subscriptions are helpful. Subscribe to the channel. Help it grow. YouTube basically gave me subs and took them away within a 48-hour period, like it does. So check your subscriber count. Make sure you're there. And I'll see you guys next time with more videos and live streams. Until then, take it easy, everybody.